Happy Sunday to everybody. I appreciate you all joining in for this live stream here. Going to try to do a little workshop for episode 2 as well as cover a few things. So I appreciate you all tuning in. Looks like we're still waiting on a couple people to join up here. So while we do that, I'm going to run some quick little housekeeping drills here. There we go. Make sure I got my comments open so I can see everybody. All right. So the first thing we want to kind of go over is a recap of the shirts we did in the first episode. This is one of them. This was done on a Gildan shirt that I got at Hobby Lobby, and this was printed on a Cricut on a heat transfer vinyl, and we were able to just get it going, and turned out pretty nice. So the other shirt was a black shirt that we used with Ninja transfers. So that turned out really nice as well. And in the meantime, I've also added merchandise. So let me copy that and put that in the chat. And then we will also put it on the banner. Let's see here. Where is it at? Bear with me for a second here. I think I can just show it. There we go. You can go to this link here and you can buy Utinni Designs merch. Currently, I just have a couple of shirts, I believe a hat and a desk mat up there currently, but you can go to that link and grab that if you like. It helps us support the channel and myself. The next thing we got to show is we are also doing light boxes, specifically light boxes for the spice runners. So here is an example of what that light box looks like and what it comes with. It comes with your wall plug, I think it's a 5-foot USB extension, and then it has a USB extension coming out of the light box as well. This is a single light box, so it does not change colors. It's just a bright white, and because we had to use a little bit larger LEDs to get the light box to light up correctly, I do suggest that it's not something you leave on all day. Just leave it on, when you're in the office or whatnot, and then turn it off at night. That helps not only save the LEDs, but prevent any overheating issues or anything like that, because it is an enclosed case. So like anything electrical, LEDs get warm. So just something to keep in mind if you do decide to get one of those. Most light boxes are not designed to leave on 24/7 anyway, and you probably wouldn't want the electricity bill if you did that anyway. So just something to keep in mind. Here's a couple more looks at it. It turned out really, really nice compared to the older light boxes that were done. These look good on or off, so you don't have to necessarily turn them on if you don't want to. But it does come with a little power switch, so you're able to turn those on and off easily. And that's what it looks like lit up at night. So those turned out really, really nice. So the next thing we have is the other light box that we are now offering. Let me pull that up here. Where's it at? Okay, well, apparently I didn't put it in the slides, but we'll do it this way. So this is the Boba Fett He's No Good to Me Dead light box, and this light box lights up as well. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it real well on camera when I light it up, but let's try it. So there it is lit up. Of course, I also have my room completely lit up as well, but we'll get it in here to see if that helps. And then there it is unlit. So not sure if my camera caught that or not, but we do offer these on the website as well. These are also 3D printed, and they use the same white LED as the Spice Runners light box. So very cool little things to have if you're a Star Wars fan or anything. We also can create custom light boxes. So if you have an idea for a light box, whether it be a team or a saying or maybe one of your favorite movies or anything like that, we can create custom light boxes for you and get those shipped out to you. So that is something that we do offer. So just keep that in mind. So the next thing we got on the list, and to get those light boxes or to contact me about doing custom light boxes, let me put this in the chat here. You can go to this website. And you will be able to contact me or order any of the merchandise on there. So that's something that we're offering along with our other merchandise. I'll leave that up for a second so people can write that down or type it in or however you want to do it. It is in the chat, so you can click that link in the chat if you're watching the live stream. For some reason, YouTube doesn't do the chat when you watch it back at a later time. I'm not sure if that's a setting that I don't have right or what. I'm still learning, but from what I've seen, nobody has that really. So hopefully you're able to see that, and if not, just continue watching, and we'll get you some more links. There's the link to the Utinni merch again, where you can get T-shirts, desk pads, hats, so on and so forth. Um, Unfortunately, the test samples that I ordered were supposed to be here today, and they're not here yet. So, hey, Frankie, what's going on, buddy? Frankie's saying hi. So he's a hyper driver, and so that's one thing I'm going to touch on here in a little bit. You can watch the hyperdrive on Wednesday nights, or I'm sorry, Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. And let me post that link here. They're a great channel to follow. And here is the link for the hyperdrive YouTube channel. George and Frankie and Ralph, all great guys. And they run a really cool show. So yeah, thanks, Frankie. It was a design that I had seen online, and but it was like super small, and I was like, well, I can redraw that. So I redrew it, did it up, and thought, well, now I have it drawn. What am I going to do with it? So I was like, well, I can make keychains, but printing something keychain size and that with that much detail doesn't usually turn out too well, even with my 3D printer. Um, so I thought, well, the next best option is a light box, and then maybe I'll turn it into a T-shirt at some point, that sort of thing. So I did completely redraw it, change it up a little bit, and turned out pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with it. Let me pull up Spice Runners is another channel that I love to watch on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. Let me pull up them so I can post that link here. There's the link in the chat, and there's the URL for YouTube for Spice Runners. George and Jason J2SO, Hazy Customs, Dewback, Star Wars Addict, Jeff, and they have guests and stuff on there all the time from around the community, and it's a really fun group on Friday nights. And while we're on the channels, might as well hit up Rogue 5 Cantina, which is on tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. So let me post that in the chat. And here's Rogue 5 Cantina. That's the link so you can watch them. And actually, I need to put a space in there. So bear with me for a second. I will repost that, because if somebody clicks on that, it may not take them to the correct site. So let's repost that. There we go. That looks better. So you can watch Rogue 5 Cantina tonight with Janine, Joe, Brett, and I believe Diana is on there for the next couple weeks. So that's a really good show on Sunday nights to watch. So kind of gotten out of sync here with my notes, but we'll keep going. Remember, tomorrow, I should say, is the solar eclipse. It will last approximately 4 minutes and 28 seconds, and you should be able to see it on a clear day around the world. It is a solar eclipse, so should be pretty cool to see. The next thing I have up on here to talk about real quick before we get to the workshop is Outlaws. On Tuesday, April 9th at noon, 9 p.m. I'm sorry, April 9th at noon Eastern Time, 9 p.m. Pacific, they are going to have a story trailer to talk about the story of the Outlaws video game. So that'll be pretty neat. I'm hoping that we'll also get the release date at that time. I'm crossing my fingers for that, but really looking forward to this game. I think it's going to be a nice open world game, and I hope everybody else is excited about it, that's a Star Wars fan or just a video game fan in general. I think it's kind of going to be a cross between Jedi Survivor and more of the open world type games like Division, or let's see, what other open world type games are there. There's tons of them out there. But you'll be able, I mean, even Jedi Survivor was technically open world if you didn't want to do the story. You could just run around and do whatever you want. Ghost Recon's another good one. Thank you, Mando. That's a good example. So, and it looks like he is looking forward to that as well. I think it's going to be a great game. But Ubisoft is notoriously slow for doing games, even though they're actually really good. So hopefully we get a release date with that story trailer on Tuesday, again, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we'll move on to the, let's see, we want to remove that. Still getting used to all these controls here on StreamYard here. To go back over, I guess I should have shown these before. These were the shirt designs that I did last week or the last live stream, episode 1. These were the actual designs that I did for those. And let's see, there's another one here for the black one. This one. And then this one I changed actually in the stream. Instead of just having the Utinni designs across the front, I added the Jawa to it, and because I already had that transfer printed out. So that's the shirt that we did for that one. So that kind of shows you those. The next thing I had, let's see, we did Spice Runners, we did Outlaws. There's a new shirt that I'm working on, a new shirt design that I hope to have finished soon, that I will have up in the Utinni design swag store. Again, I'll post that link here. So you can get the hats and shirts and stuff that I design, or the mats, the desk mats. Um, but the one that I'm looking at doing now is this one. So Darth Vader with kind of a Japanese style motif to it. Um, let me get this other slide up here so we can see it a little bit closer. And it's Vader, and that actually says Sith in a Star Wars style language font. I forget which one it is. I believe it's Huttese, maybe. I'd have to go back and look. But then it says prophesized, fallen, redeemed Vader. So he was prophesized, obviously, from episode 1 up until episode 3 when he actually became Vader. He was Anakin Skywalker before. And during episode 3, he fell to the dark side because he was prophesized to bring balance to the Force. So he went fallen. And then in the technically the third original trilogy movie, not from the prequels, which would actually be episode 7, he was redeemed by his son Luke in Return of the Jedi. So that's why it says prophesized, fallen, redeemed Vader. So I hope to have those shirts going here before too long and get those up there so everybody can enjoy them. Next thing we got on the list is, like I said, I got a little bit out of whack here. So I guess the next thing I want to show is the workshop. So let's get into that. And to do that, I need to switch cameras. So I'm going to go to here and this one. So you should see the table there. And hopefully everybody can see that. Let me check Facebook real quick and make sure we don't have any comments on Facebook. Bear with me for a second here. If my Facebook will pop up. Let's see here. Okay, currently no comments on Facebook yet. Okay, so we're good there. Let me scroll down here. And for some reason, it's not posting the comments to Facebook. I guess that's a StreamYard thing. Again, still learning on this stuff, so I do apologize. But yeah, looks like we got the camera up and going. So this is a clone trooper, and this is what it looks like basically when you print it out in the different pieces. You have several different pieces that you need to put together. This is what's called a separated multicolor print. So you print each piece in its color. And then like here's a black piece. Oh, where's my camera? There we go. There's a black piece. So you print all the black pieces, you print the white pieces. If you have any other pieces like this guy's, the face is kind of like a beige. You print all those separately instead of, even with a multi-printer like mine, technically I could print them all together. But the difference is to print something this size with even 4 colors, it could take 30 hours to print. So a lot of models are split up into pieces so you can make it a lot quicker. So for instance, this entire mess of parts you see here took about 9 to 12 hours to print versus 30 some hours. So it makes it a lot faster. But to put these guys together is actually pretty simple. We'll start with the waist here. And these are all keyed already. So you just put them in and twist and put them in and twist this way. And then there is a pin somewhere. Where'd my pin go? Okay, pin's already in there. I'd already put that in apparently. You can see that. So then we have this piece that helps keep that pin in, and that just goes down And then I have a little rubber mallet. I'm going to have to do this off camera, but you just tap that in, and that gets it locked in there. So now that pin is locked. Let me see if I can get that on the camera here. Getting a lot of light from my spotlight here. So let's see if we can fix that. There, you can see it a little bit better. It's not as blown out. So, and to the layer lines on an FDM printer, Frankie, um, he asked, what are we doing to get rid of layer lines? You really can't see the layer lines on these as bad. Let me reach up here and turn off this light so you all can see it a little bit better. Maybe that'll help a little bit. There are some layer lines in there. You can start to see them like right here, but it's really not bad. And what I do to get rid of them is sometimes I'll print at a little bit slower speed. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll tell it to, there's an ironing function that you can iron. So basically it makes two passes. It'll print a stream and then it'll iron a stream. And sometimes that works. But honestly, the Bamboo Labs printer that I have, I mean, if you print it the correct way, you really can't hardly see the layer lines. I don't know if you can, let me get a piece of paper here so we can focus on this. I mean, you can just barely see them. It's a little bit more noticeable in real life than it is on the camera, obviously. Um, but you can use several different things. I use primer paint. You can layer primer up paint. And actually, that's exactly what Frankie just said. He goes, you can use automotive filler primer. But when you use stuff like that, you got to keep in mind that you can't have a whole lot of detail on the model, because the more detail you have on a model and then you fill it in with primer, whether it be a rattle can primer or an automotive primer or Bondo, you're going to lose some of that detail. So that's one thing to keep in mind, especially on the smaller prints. Thank you, Frankie. I appreciate that. But all the credit really goes to the printer, because it does the work, and keeps me from doing as much post work as possible. Now on these black pieces, you can probably see just a little bit of layer lines there. Let's see if I can, trying to get this camera to adjust here. This is a new camera, so you can see just a little bit of layer lines. You probably see it most on the gun. When I get it in a certain light, you can see them like right there. But it's really not bad. And this was printed with a 0.4 millimeter nozzle at 0.2 millimeter layer height. So it's really not bad at all, as far as making the layer lines and stuff. Bamboo has really done a great job with their filament and printer. It's kind of like an Apple system. The way I have it set up is I use their filament with their printer. Um, so it just kind of works together. I have used some other filaments from other companies that are not Bamboo related, and I really haven't had any issues with those either, with the exception of one color, and that was, I'm trying to remember the color of it now. It was a Paramount 3D filament, and it was, I forget the name of the blue. It was a shade of blue, but what I found was is if I printed it at the normal speed that the Bamboo printer goes, which is 100% of its speed. Not it has several different speeds. It has like slow, it has normal, then it has fast, and then it has ludicrous. I've never printed anything with ludicrous, even though I've seen lots of prints that that have, and they turned out pretty good. I just personally haven't. But what I found with that blue from Paramount 3D was if I printed it at normal, regular speed, it would cloud up the print. The blue would be like a milky blue, like a cloudy milky blue. So what I did is I played around with it a little bit and I slowed the machine to 50%. So it took twice as long as it would to normally print. However, the blue came out a lot more vibrant. So I think it had to do with the filament that I was using from Paramount 3D simply wasn't designed for a high-speed printer because bamboo printers do have a higher speed than most, like your Prusas and many of the others out there. They're relatively slow compared to what the bamboos are. So most filament is designed for the mass market, which is Prusa at the time. But bamboo is gaining a lot of market ground with their printers. A lot of companies like Prusa and Elegoo and all them, they're starting to take some of that information from the bamboo printers and then implementing it in their printers. Uh, just because, I mean, time. I mean, to print something like this on a Prusa, I mean, I don't have one, but I'm just guessing you're probably looking at minimum 15 to 16 hours, and I can do it in 8 to 12, depending on my settings. So the technology is really catching up. But so this is the waist piece that we just completed. Now we're going to do the legs. So the legs have this little black piece, and it's all just already keyed. So you literally just slide it in. And for some reason, I can't get it in there because I got the wrong side, I think. There we go. So that's just keyed in there. You can sort of see the little nibs, and then it's has some little cutouts there. So you just press it, boom, leg done. Then we'll do the same for the other leg. Press it, leg done. Now we'll get these legs on, snap that in, get this leg on, snap it in, just move it around, make sure it moves the way it's supposed to. So there's your waist and your legs done, with the exception of the inserts for the legs. So these are little inserts, and so you just slide them in. Let me make sure I get them on the right orientation. So we're just going to slide them in, and they just kind of pop in. So this, like I said, really helps save a little bit of time on multicolor printing. And I'm just going to press these with a little tool I have that has kind of a rubber handle to it, just to kind of get them in there, make sure they're good and solid. And then we'll move on to the next one. And we'll get that pressed in there. And then we'll just kind of go around it with the little tool just to make sure it's pressed good and tight down in there. So, I mean, that's not going to, fall out or anything like that, even if you move the legs or if you bang on it. It's not going anywhere. So you don't even have to use glue on some of these models if their tolerances are built the correct way. So the next thing is I'm going to take the torso. As you can see, the torso has some pretty good detail to it. Let me see if I can. There you go. There you can see the detail. So we're going to take this piece here, and this just slots right in. If I can get my big fingers in the way. So there, we're just going to work it down in there, press it, and voila. So you can add glue to it if you wanted to. I personally don't on these, just because I may want to take them apart later and get them going, and maybe sand them or print them a different color or whatnot. Maybe I'll break a piece, something like that. So, hey Rex from Millennium Workshop, how are you, buddy? Glad you could join us. Um, Rex is a really cool guy. He does some amazing work. Um, Let me find his link here and I will post it up. Um, let's see here. Bear with me for a second here. I got it here somewhere. Do, 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 do. Quick pause in the action here. Let's see. Millennium Workshop. There we go. He does amazing helmets for anybody that wants Star Wars based helmets. And Rex is your guy. Um, let me get this in here and post it and show it. So there's his link. Um, great guy, and he does do amazing work. And for some reason, that put those together. So let me redo this here. Bear with me here. All right, so let me just copy the URL instead of all the extra stuff I had. There we go. There's a link to his YouTube channel, and you can see some of the stuff that he does. Really cool stuff. 3D print mixed with paint, mixed with textiles. Um, the stuff he does just knocks it out of the park. So if you're looking for a cool Star Wars helmet or something, hit Rex up. He's a great guy, and he'll get you taken care of. So the next we're going to move on to the blaster. Now, notoriously, these are difficult because you have this long rod that hopefully the tolerances are well enough that it will slide up in here. And I'm just going to do a test slide. That one actually worked pretty well. So fingers crossed. So what we're going to do is we're going to put these two halves together because you print them in halves. And then on the butt stock of this blaster, we're going to run it up through that hole basically and tie these two together. And my old eyes are not going to work for this. Frankie knows about that. Frankie knows about old eyes, don't you, Frankie? All right, let's see if we can get this going here. All right, there we go. So I got it somewhat started here, and I'm just going to press all the way through. That locks these two pieces together, and you can adjust it slightly and get it lined up. So that slides those, that locks those two together without glue. And then for the base or for the grip, there's another little piece here, and we're just going to slide this down in here, make sure it's flush, and there's your finished blaster. So, and you can go a little bit further if you want to. You can add some glue to the inside before you slide that together to kind of glue these so you don't see that seam as bad. The other thing is you can do what we talked about earlier with the automotive primer, or you can get some Bondo put on there and wood filler, that sort of thing, and just fill in those gaps, sand it down, and then rattle can it or repaint it, and you won't be able to see those those split lines basically. So let's see if I can there. You can sort of see them there. But for this type of thing, I mean, most people ain't going to care because it's a Lego style, um, so it's not meant to be screen accurate. Um, so we'll continue with the torso here. So I got these little pieces, and we're just going to pop them in each side here. If I can get these lined up. Sometimes it's hard to do when you're trying to do it on camera. There we go. So these just kind of pop in. And again, I'm going to get my little tool and just press those a little bit just to get them to go in there. And we're going to press this just a little bit more. There we go. So now that piece is in there pretty good. And we'll go to the other side. And a lot of this is repetition. I'm sure Rex knows this very well with his helmets and stuff. It's just sitting there and sitting down and doing it and putting in the hours. You find little tricks to kind of get it going a little bit faster here and there. And it's all about just taking your time and just doing it. So now that torso is done because that's all the pieces that we had for the torso. So now we'll pop his arms on. So you just pop, there you go. And I always move them just a little bit just to kind of get them loosened up a little tiny bit. That just kind of helps with the movement because it will be super tight at first. And these joints will probably loosen up over time if a kid plays with them or whatnot, but they're really not designed for that. They're really designed to just kind of display. So there's your two arms. Now we got our hands, and we want the part that's angled down. Let's see if I can show that. See how it's kind of angled down? We want that to be on the bottom, which obviously you can twist these. So you just snap them in, and then you can twist these all you want. So there's one hand. There's two hands. So now we can attach the torso, and boom. There's your torso done and your rifle done. So now we just got the really fun parts. On this particular model, I've had some issues with these. There's little black pieces that fit inside this helmet that go into these inlets. Technically, I think they're supposed to fit flush, but I can never get them flush because I think the tolerances are a little too tight. So what I do is I push them in as far as I can get them, and then I shave it down so you can actually get the head to go through, because otherwise on this particular helmet the head will not fit. So I'm going to press these in as far as I can get them, and then we'll just hope and pray that I shaved enough of it off. I may have to do some post work later to get them back in there, but for this example we're just going to kind of roll with it. So those little pieces are in. Let's see, now we want to put the nose piece on. So we're just going to slide that down like so. And now we got the faceplate piece, and we got to get it going the right direction. So it's going to look like this, and that just snaps in. So now you can kind of see where we're going with it. Here we got a little mic piece, or the mouthpiece, and make sure I get this in the right orientation here. And just press that in. Again, sometimes if you get a little tool and that has rubberized handles on it, you can get it in there just a little bit further. Sometimes you can tap it, and that gets it in there. So now we got the top piece. Now you can kind of see where we're going here. We got the front piece here. Let me make sure I get this the correct orientation, which I believe is this way. So we're going to pop that in. And again, just kind of tap it with a rubberized grip. That helps get it kind of set in there. So yeah, we're looking pretty good so far. Now we just got these little back pieces here. And let me make sure I'm getting in the right orientation again. So these little pieces go in the back to kind of complete the ring that goes around the helmet. And let's see. I think I'm putting these in wrong on this one. I think it goes on this one. There we go. So you just snap it. And it may not look like it's going in all the way, but it actually does if you kind of look at the contour of it. So like here it looks a little loose, but it's actually not. It's exactly where it's supposed to be. So then we'll press this guy in. Let me flip this around here. It's really hard to do this on camera. I don't know how Rex does it. So we get that piece in and snap that. And now we're going to see if the head fits, which it doesn't because of the fact, again, I have to modify those pieces a little bit. But what I do on these faces is I can either have them to where they're not painted, or what I do is I take a good old Sharpie fine point. And you could do this with a paintbrush, but you just kind of do several coats. You just let it, color it in, let it dry, come back about 30 minutes later, probably not even that long because it's permanent Sharpie marker. And you just kind of fill in the eyebrows. You do have to be careful because of there's these small little areas here. You don't want to run that pen over the forehead because once it's on there, it's on there. That's why they call it permanent marker. So there's like an eyebrow, and it looks light now, but once I do a couple coats, it actually gets black. So I mean, you wouldn't be able to tell if it was black paint or Sharpie. Um, and I'm not sure that you could actually get a brush in some of these areas. Maybe a really fine brush, but we'll just get these in here real quick. Another use for a Sharpie. Coloring giant 9-inch Lego style Star Wars characters. So there we go. And we got his little chin marks right here. You gotta be real careful because that's not very deep. And then we'll go over here, fill that in, and then we'll fill in this too. Now again, you could do this with a paintbrush. I have not tried it with a paintbrush, but I'm assuming they have super, super fine tip paintbrushes. And as long as you have a steady hand, you ought to be able to do it. I could also print it with the black already built in, but again, just for time on these prints, if I were to tell the printer to print the black already in the face, it would take about 15 hours to print just the head. So to print just this piece that I'm working on, 15 hours. Where if I do it this way and I just tell it to print just the beige, it's an hour and 45 minutes. So big difference there. But what do I do with my cap? There it is. So as you can see, just with one coat of permanent marker, that really kind of pops on that light beige. And Frankie has a good suggestion. I bet those ink pens that Gonna Paula builders use would work great for that too. I probably mispronounced that name, but Gonna Gun PLA builders, maybe that's what he meant. Possibly. Um, I haven't seen those, but I bet they probably would. Basically, anything to get in those small, I mean, those are really small. I mean, especially on that chin. I mean, you have to have some fine, and I don't even know if I can get that little mark right up here. Let me see if I can get that on the camera there. There we go. See how small that is? I don't even know if I can get a, oh, Gundam. Okay. Yeah, maybe. I mean, that stuff is really small. I can't hardly almost get this fine point Sharpie in there, and I mean, that's a fine point. So it's possible. Uh, I honestly just haven't tried it. I'm off camera here doing this little forehead thing because I'm trying to, oop, and see there I went too far. And now he has a unibrow going into the, and so you can't do anything with that. That's permanent marker. So that's a screw up on my part. That's all right. I could probably sand that down, to be honest. Um, since it is PLA, I could probably get a little sander and sand that little piece down, um, and get that mark out of there. But it is what it is. That this was just a test piece just to kind of show people. I can print out another head, like I said, in an hour and just go over it again and redo it. So live screw ups. But I haven't caught anything on fire yet, Brett, if you're watching. So that's a good thing. So I'm just going to go back over these real quick just so you can see the difference that it makes after you let it dry for a second. And there we go. So pretty big difference. Let's see if I can get my camera to focus here. Got a piece of paper here that might help. Yeah, that looks better. There we go. So yeah, not too bad. And like I said, I can fix that little spot that I screwed up on. Um, I was just trying to go a little bit faster than I probably should have been, but in essence, this clone trooper is pretty much done. So you snap his head on, put his gun in his hand, and like I said, his helmet probably won't fit with those pieces. And I don't really want to force it because it's going to end up cracking the head. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to take those little black pieces out, I think, and see if I can pop them out. Maybe I may have pushed them in too far. Let's see. Let's get a pair of pliers here. This really is turning into a workshop instead of a. There we go. There we're getting it. There's one piece. Now this other one I probably will not be able to get. But that should. Nope. Okay, let's try this. Let's see if we can get a little something down in there. Let's see, I got a screwdriver here, mini screwdriver. May be able to grab it with this. Let's try that. There we go. So yeah, that piece was just down in there. All right, so now we'll be able to get the head on. Boom. So there is a clone trooper. Oh, very cool. Well, make sure you post some pictures when you're working, when you're done with that speeder bike there, Frankie. That'd be cool. Is it like a 1/6 or what scale is it? Yeah, these are the little pieces that go in the helmet, and you can see there's not much room for air on the tolerances. So there's several different ways I can try to fix that. I can try to shave them down. I can print these as separate little tiny blocks and just stick them in there instead of one big long piece. So I can cut these or I can just print them separate. A 1/10 right now. Very cool. So 1/10, that's going to be Kotobukiya size, which is basically Black Series. Of course, Black Series I think is considered 1/12, but that's very cool, man. Look forward to seeing that. So yeah, there's our little clone trooper, and if you give me just a second, I will get him on a turntable. So let me go to my other camera here. See if it's still on, which it doesn't look like it is. So bear with me for a second here. I'm going to put you back on this camera while I go get that camera rebooted. All right. Bear with me here. I'm almost ready. I took too long talking and doing the little projects, and my little light died on me. So let's see. Let's get this going. Let's see if we can get this to work. All right. So if I switch to this camera, there is the finished clone trooper that we worked on. Just got him on a little turntable there. So he is done and ready for its prime time. So pretty cool little instructional today, kind of quick. Um, let's see, I'll let that go just for a second. Let it go another round here. And let me check in on Facebook while that's doing it. All right. Looks like all good on the Facebook world. And we're coming up on an hour here. So let me get this back on me, and we'll show you a couple other little things, and then we'll wrap it up. So let's get the camera back to me. Whew, that's scary. All right. So pretty cool little thing just to kind of show you the size of these. It kind of shows you the size. They're about 9 inches tall, roughly, but they're really cool. Today I also printed out wall mounts. So what you do is you mount this to the wall, and then you just, of course, he's not going to stay because I'm shaking, but you get the idea. He'll stand there on the wall. Now, because of this blaster, he's a little front heavy, so I'd raise this blaster up. Yeah, he'll just sit right there. You can put him right on the wall. You can have a collection of them or whatnot. Again, these are just little plates that I 3D print. Kind of show Frankie the layer lines or lack thereof. But yeah, you can see the little holes there. You just use some screws. You mount it right to the wall, and then slide him right down on the pegs, and there he is. And you can sort of see here in the back how far those pegs kind of go up his legs. So he is sturdy. I mean, I wouldn't sit here and shake him, but that's probably not going to happen on a wall anyway. And I could probably make those go a little bit further up if I wanted, but I think as long as you have his blaster pointed up, he'll be fine. Now, once you bring it down, he's going to be a little front heavy. But as you can see, he even, he fell forward just a little bit, but he didn't fall off those pegs. So just a nice little wall display that came up with. I actually found that on Maker World, I believe. And a guy made that version, and I modified it slightly. I just made the pegs just a little bit bigger, a little bit taller. I felt that his was probably a little bit too short, so I made these a little bit bigger. So, but like here it is with the Stormtrooper, since he's not as front heavy because of his blaster. So, let's see here, where's the camera? So we just slide him right down in there, and there he is. So you can mount that to the wall, and you can have a whole legion of these little guys. So pretty cool. The last thing I think I got for today is, again, there's the clone trooper we built live. So he's ready to go wherever he's going to go, protect the galaxy. The next thing I have is something I'll have to run into the other room for here in a minute. But what I wanted to show you was Land Speeder Luke, and he's a designer on the internet that does a lot of 1/6 scale, 1/12 scale dioramas for like Black Series, the Vintage Collection, vintage Star Wars Kenner figures. He also does some 1/6 scale stuff for Hot Toys and stuff. But one of the things that he came up with, I found really interesting, especially since I already had this Black Series. But it is a hollow table. So this is what it looks like, and that's all 3D printed. And I'll put it on this other camera here and get this off of me and get it on this other camera so you can kind of see it better. Camera, and there we go. So this is the base. And then it has these holes that just line up with the holes here. So then when it sits, that's what it looks like. And then the character I have is it's a hollow puck character by Hasbro, and it just fits right down in there. And then it has a little button right here that's kind of hidden underneath that you press to activate it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the other room real quick. I'll set this up, and I'll come right back and show that to you. So give me just a second. And in the meantime, I will have Mr. Boba Lightbox here holding your attention. Bear with me just a second. As someone's at my door, they're just going to have to wait. So get this set up. But I thought this was a really cool idea, so I got it printed out just to do a little test. Let's see, where it is. All right. See, I put this all on backwards. So I know you can't see it, thankfully, but I put it on backwards. So let me get this set up here. Come on. This is the part where I got to remember I'm on a live stream. I don't want to start cussing. Oh, there we go. Okay. That piece is in there. That piece is in there. Come on. Don't fall. Well, this may be a quick little presentation here. I'll wait for this thing to come back around. There's the button. All right, so I'm going to turn this light off so you can see what it does. Let me switch my camera real quick. Sorry about that. And here we go. So that's what the hollow table does. Pretty cool. Again, that's the Hasbro light up. It's like a little hollow puck with a LED light in it. But you put that in the hollow table that you 3D print, and that brings it up. Really kind of adds something to it. So you could have a whole set of these with hollow tables, you know, kind of lined up if you collected this part of the Hasbro series. So it's kind of neat. I wish the light was a little bit brighter and went all the way up through the figure. It kind of stops about halfway, it seems like. But it's still pretty cool. So just one of those cool little things that You can print up pretty fast if you're a member of Landspeeder Luke's website or Patreon. I believe he also sells them just to non-Patreon members. I think you have to pay a little bit more, but it's pretty cool. So, all right. Well, we're coming up on a little bit over an hour, I think, about 65 minutes. So, looks like I'll probably end up shutting this down here pretty quick. Get ready for Rogue 5 Cantina tonight. Let me post that link again in case anybody's interested. So be sure to tune into the Rogue 5 Cantina tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. Great show, great people. Also, again, make sure to tune into Hyperdrive um, on Thursday nights. And here is the link for them. And Spice Runners on Friday nights. There's the link for them. Again, the shirts that we talked about earlier, you can pick up here at the Utinni Design Swag Shop. I will have more designs coming soon, including the Vader shirt like this with the close-up prophesized fallen redeemed. You can pick that up at the link on your screen. It's not up yet, but within the next couple days, I'll be finalizing that and getting that up there. So something to look forward to. Yeah, see you in the chat tonight, Frankie. Thank you very much for tuning in, buddy. I got a couple more little things, and then I'm going to hop off here. So, um, again, to remind everybody, there is a Star Wars Outlaws story trailer reveal on Tuesday, April 9th at noon Eastern or 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you want really cool screen accurate helmets, be sure to check out my buddy Rex at Millennium Workshop. He does a really good job on those, and he'll get you hooked up with that. So I think there was one other thing that I was going to do, and now I can't remember what it was. But for the most part, it looks like we've covered everything that we wanted to cover. So I think we'll get out of here. Let everybody enjoy the rest of their Sunday evening. It's 5 p.m. Eastern, so we've been on here for a little bit over an hour. And we'll watch some Rogue 5 Cantina tonight. The other thing that I did want to show real quick, and I'll probably save a more in-depth review for next time, but let me pop out of the way here and grab this just to kind of show you something that I got today. So you see those back there? Let's see if we can zoom in here. All right. So those are CFL lightsabers for my Hot Toys. I got one for Luke and one for Anakin. They're both blue. And then, if you let me angle this down here, there is Vader and Luke in the Bespin scene. So I got those set up today. So really, really happy with those. I got to get the link for the guy I got them from. Bear with me just a second here, and I will grab that for you. But he was really easy to work with. He did great work. He was fast. I was really impressed with the quality of the product that I ended up getting. Let's see here. Let me search for his name here. His name is Chris D. Guzman, I believe is how you pronounce it. And man, he does amazing work. Let me post his Facebook link here. Yep, Chris Guzman. So let me post his Facebook here. And let's see, we want to, okay, we want to remove that. There, you can, it's kind of a blurry picture because I'm zoomed in, but there is the link to Chris. Contact him, get some really cool CFL sabers. There's the Vader and the Luke. And then you can see the Bespin Luke, or the Snowspeeder Luke, and Anakin there. And it really adds a lot to the display. I don't think they get extremely hot. They've been on for about an hour, so I'll check them here in a second. But I don't think they get extremely hot. At first, I was kind of worried about going to CFL lightsabers because obviously hot toys are plastic and rubber and real, cloth and stuff. But so far, I'm very happy with them. Obviously, it's not something I'm going to leave on for a long time. Just when I'm in the room or doing a live stream or something. Because I know with anything electrical, there's always, potential of getting it hot or whatnot. So very cool to look at, though. It really adds something to the display, I think, and definitely kind of brightens up and gives a nice glow to everything. Let me grab this light here so you can sort of see it a little bit better, maybe. Or let me turn down these. Bear with me. There you can see them a lot better. So if I just turn these off, you can see them a lot better. Let me flip this camera off too, or this light off. Bear with me. So there, now we can, let me get out of the way. Now you can really see those bubbies. Let me zoom this camera in here. So you can really see those things glowing. And look at the red and the blue effect that it gives on the entire side of that box. I mean, that is just really cool. And then there's Snowspeeder Luke and Anakin Skywalker in their light up sabers. And he also does blaster effects. He also does the jet packs for Mando and Boba Fett, and then sabers for Ahsoka. Eventually, I'll get. So very cool stuff. We're going to zoom this back out here. Actually, yeah. So we're going to close this up, wrap it up. Again, I appreciate everybody tuning in, and we will get another live stream going here before too long. We'll get some other workshop stuff going, and let's make a fun time of it. So that's all I have for now. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time, and may the force be with you.
Utinni!